Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Buffalo SportsCenter video. I am Don. And guess what? Today, we are back to talking about the Buffalo Sabres, and more specifically, we're going to talk about more rumors surrounding the Sabres at this point in the offseason. And yes, even though it's the quiet, dumb period of the offseason, there is a lot of chatter going around the Buffalo Sabres. Less than 2 weeks to go until the NHL draft, a couple weeks to go until the NHL free agency period opens up. That is on July 1st. So, of course, there's going to be a lot to wait and see, actually, about the Sabres and how this team will look going into next season. Let's kick off the rumors now, starting off with arguably the biggest from this past week, and that is that the Buffalo Sabres are interested in acquiring defenseman from Carolina, Brett Pesci, in a trade. Brett Pesci, probably one of the better two-way defensemen in the NHL. He was on that stacked Carolina roster, of course. They were one of the best defensive teams in the NHL last season, and Pesci, the Terrytown native, would be an excellent addition to the Sabres squad. He would fit in perfectly, and I can't stress it enough, perfectly next to Owen Power in that top four core. Now, this does make some sense, as Pierre LeBrun noted, that the Sabres, they are looking for another guy in their top four, and the UFA landscape, it's not looking very good this season. I made a video a couple weeks ago with Cal, and we talked about some potential free agents that the Sabres could get. I said in that video, the likes of Radko Gudas, Scott Mayfield, Carson Soucy, amongst others. The problem with that is with the UFA market being so barren this year, those guys are probably going to go for a higher price than they probably should. Now, Brett Pesci, his cap hit is not too high for his final season of his current 6-year contract. He's only going to have to be paid $4.025 million, so a little over $4 million this season. After that, the 28-year-old we're going to have to see if the Sabres would want to extend him, if they got him, of course, in that trade. But acquiring Brett Pesci, who, like I said already, one of the best two-way defensemen in the league, that would be an awesome addition for Kevin Adams and the Buffalo Sabres. He had 30 points last season in 82 games played, so he's certainly an Iron Man. He played in every single game in the playoffs as well, up until they lost in that 4-game sweep against the Florida Panthers. So that would be an awesome addition. That's one of the big rumors surrounding the Sabres right now. Another big rumor is Victor Olofsson, and it sounds like that Victor Olofsson will be traded by the start of training camp, and I think the Sabres are right to do this. Olofsson saw a diminished role on this team as we got closer to the end of this past season, when the Sabres were in the middle of playoff push. Victor Olofsson, he's of course one of the more polarizing players on this team. Either you love him or you hate him. Either you love his sharpshooting, high-end goal-scoring abilities, or you hate how he's a defensive liability and goes missing for about half the season. It's a double-edged sword when it comes to Victor Olofsson, and unfortunately for him, he doesn't exactly fit onto this current Sabres roster. Looks like he's being squeezed out by some of the younger guys, and of course the Sabres, they could have their own better version of Victor Olofsson rising through the ranks very soon in the form of Yuri Kulik. So the Sabres, seeing the potential competition he'd have on his hands, plus his diminished role on the team and his diminished likability from the coaching staff, might as well move Olofsson out during the offseason so that he can get settled with a new team before training camp. Now, some interested teams that could be in on the running for Olofsson. My top three would be the New York Islanders is number one. They definitely need more goal scoring. They've needed that for quite some time now. The Anaheim Ducks, they could maybe try to push for some more depth if they get another high top draft pick this upcoming draft. And maybe even the Dallas Stars, who, like the Islanders, they're on the older side. They need a little bit more scoring to pair with Jason Robertson, Jamie Benn, and the aging Tyler Seguin. So Victor Olofsson could be traded, probably will, by the time training camp rolls around for the Buffalo Sabres. Another big rumor is that the Sabres are actively shopping and looking around the trade market once again for a goalie to pair with Devin Levi for this upcoming season. It's clear that Kevin Adams doesn't want to rush Devin Levi into playing 60-plus games this upcoming season. Yes, he looked good in the 7 that he played at the end of last season, but he is still basically a rookie. They got to shelter him, and they got to make sure he doesn't get rushed in and potentially have his confidence ruined by a potentially bad Sabres defense again. Pairing him with an NHL veteran, a proven NHL veteran this time, would be ideal. Now, in the past, we've seen Sabres GMs try to pair like a guy like Robin Lehner with Chad Johnson, or Linus Ullmark with Carter Hutton. Those guys weren't necessarily proven NHL veterans. The guys that Kevin Adams has been rumored to want to go for now, they are proven. Connor Hellebuyck, he would be amazing on the Sabres team. The only problem is he's 30 years old and he's going to be in the final year of his current deal. So after this next season, he's going to ask for a huge extension. I'm not sure the Sabres exactly want to do that. Frederik Andersen would be a better option. He's a 33-year-old vet currently playing with Carolina. You'll probably remember him during his time with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He does have some injury concerns, but when he's on the ice, he is absolutely fantastic, although he's not on the ice all that often. One injury from him, and the Sabres could be back to having to play Erik Comrie or Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with Devin Levi next season. And then the other option, perhaps my most favorite and favorable of the three, Carter Hart, currently with the Philadelphia Flyers. He had a very solid rebounding season, backstopping a pretty bad team there in Philadelphia. Carter Hart, he had 22 wins last season, a .294 goals against average, and a .907 save percentage. Those stats were actually better than Devin Levi's during his little cameo with the Sabres. So just putting that into perspective, the Sabres would really love to have one of these three goalies. All these options would be phenomenal, but the fact that the Sabres keep getting linked to these guys tells us that Kevin Adams is looking for a change at the goalie position, preferably getting a true number one goalie to come in and play this season, then let Devin Levi take the reins next season. Well, after this next season. All right, let's continue on now and talk about the final big rumor on the cutting board, and that is the fact that Rasmus Dahlin, he's probably going to get extended to a huge 8-year, $80 million deal. I almost forgot the math for a second. He's going to get paid $10 million per season. Absolutely deserved after what was an awesome Norris-level season from him. I thought he was absolutely snubbed from the Norris conversation. He should have beaten out Erik Karlsson, even though Erik Karlsson, he was good. He was on a bad team. Rasmus Dahlin was literally carrying this decor. Him and Matthias Samuelsson and Owen Power were phenomenal, but Dahlin took his game to the next level and is finally showing us why the Sabres drafted him number one overall back in 2018. It seems as though the bad coaching vibes have finally brushed off of him, and now Dahlin can really maximize his potential. And for Owen Power, it looks like the Sabres also want to extend him now rather than later. This next upcoming season will be Owen Power's third and final season under his rookie contract. So Kevin Adams just wants to get ahead of this. Maybe they do a bridge deal. Maybe they do a long-term lower cap kind of deal like we've seen with Dylan Cousins and Tage Thompson, and maybe we even see that with Casey Middlestat soon. Who knows? But Dahlin, for sure, he's going to get that extension, 8 by 80. Owen Power, we shall see. That's a wait-and-see kind of game, but both of these guys definitely deserve extensions. Kevin Adams is working hard on both of them, and hopefully we see that announcement, that extension announcement, soon rather than later. So, folks, what did you think about all of these? Did you agree with them? Do you disagree? Do you think the Sabres should stick it out with Victor Olofsson, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Erik Comrie? Should they not extend Dahlin or Power? Which, if you say they shouldn't, you better have a good explanation why. Do you think that they should not go out and get Carter Hart, Frederik Andersen, or Connor Hellebuyck? Let me know in the chat down below. I was Don, and this is Buffalo SportsCenter. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, join the Discord, and of course subscribe here on the YouTube. I was Don, and I hope to see all of you in the next video. Peace out.